I moved into the house on a Tuesday. Nothing special about that. I had a few boxes, a mattress I'd been meaning to replace for 2 years, and a 6-month lease I'd signed without visiting the property in person. I was between jobs, and my cousin had found the listing and said the price was stupid cheap for the square footage. That should have told me something. The house was a 2-bedroom on a rural stretch outside Millhaven, Georgia. Old farmhouse style, maybe 80 years old. Sitting back off a gravel road with a tree line maybe 40 feet from the back porch. The nearest neighbor was a quarter mile up the road. I didn't mind that. I needed quiet more than I needed company at that point in my life. The first 2 weeks were fine. Better than fine, actually. I slept well. I got into a routine. I didn't think about much except putting myself back together. The first thing I noticed was the chair. I had a wooden chair I kept at the small desk in the second bedroom, which I was using as a home office. One morning I came into work and the chair had been moved back about 3 feet, facing the window instead of the desk. I live alone. I don't sleepwalk. I sat there for a second trying to remember if I had done it. Maybe moved it to look outside or something. I couldn't remember doing it, but I also couldn't rule it out. I turned it back around and got to work. I didn't think much of it at the time. The second thing happened about a week later. I was outside in the evening sometimes, just sitting on the back porch. It had become a habit, maybe 9 or 10 o'clock, cooling down before bed. One night I noticed something at the edge of the tree line, a gap in the brush where someone or something had clearly been standing. The grass was flattened in a rough circle, not a large area, but deliberate looking, like someone had stood there for a while. Could have been a deer, could have been anything. The woods back there were full of whatever wildlife Georgia has in September. I told myself that, but it was the shape of it that bothered me a little. It wasn't a hoofprint kind of shape. It was just a flat, wide, standing-shaped circle of pressed-down grass. I started coming inside before dark after that. The third thing I can't explain away as easily. I was on a work call one afternoon sitting at my desk, and I pulled out my laptop camera to switch to video. In the thumbnail preview before I turned it on, I could see my face, the desk, the wall behind me, and the doorway to the hallway. The door was open maybe halfway, and standing just barely in the frame. Half hidden by the door was a shape, upright, still. I spun around in my chair immediately, and there was nothing there. The hallway was empty. The house was quiet. I watched the video back later. The shape was there in the preview for about 2 seconds. It's blurry, and the lighting is bad, and I genuinely cannot tell you what I was looking at. I've shown it to 2 people and have gotten different reactions. One said it's a shadow from the curtains. The other didn't say anything for a long time, and then changed the subject. I started leaving every light on in the house after that. The fourth thing shook me in a way that's hard to describe. I was cleaning out the closet in the second bedroom, pulling stuff off the high shelf, and I found something pushed all the way in the back. A small glass jar with a handwritten label. Inside were about a dozen small strips of paper, folded tight. I opened it and read a few. They all had dates on them. Dates going back 11 years. Each one written in the same careful small handwriting. Just a date, nothing else. No name, no explanation. The most recent one was from 4 months ago. 4 months ago. The house had been empty for 8 months between tenants. I looked up the rental history afterward just to confirm. It had. I don't know who put those dates in that jar. I don't know what the dates mean. I threw it away and called the property management company, and they told me they'd pass it along to the owner. I never heard anything back. I started checking the locks twice every night after that. The fifth thing is why I left. About a month after I found the jar, I came home from a grocery run to find my back door unlocked. I was almost certain I had locked it, but I wasn't 100% sure. So I walked through the house, checked everything, didn't find anything wrong. I made dinner and tried to put it out of my mind. That night around 2 in the morning I woke up. I don't know why, I just did. I lay there for a few seconds listening. The house was quiet. Then I turned over and looked toward the bedroom door, which I always leave open a few inches, and I saw the light in the hallway was different. Dimmer. like something was standing between me and the hallway light. I didn't move for a long time. I just watched the gap in the door. After maybe 2 minutes, the light shifted back to normal. I heard a very soft sound from the front of the house, a creak, then the faint but distinct sound from the front door being pulled shut. Whoever it was had a key. They had let themselves in, and then they let themselves out. And for some reason, they'd come stand outside my bedroom door. I don't know how many times they'd done that before. I moved out 4 days later. I didn't finish the lease. I still think about the jar with the dates. 11 years of dates. And the house was supposedly vacant for most of them. Someone was coming and going that whole time. I don't know what they were tracking or why. I probably never will. That's the part I can't put down.